Hey everybody, Sinister Lex here. Today we're going to be talking about how do you get started as a copywriter, a freelance copywriter, if you don't really have any experience or background in it or any training or anything like that. So what do you need to get on Upwork and start making money as a copywriter? And by the way, before we get into this, I want you to drop me a comment if you get a chance. Let me know if this is something that you're working on, if you're trying to become a copywriter. And I'd also love to hear why. Like, why do you want to be a copywriter? What led you to that? What put you on that path? So how do we get started? How do you get started as a copywriter on Upwork? If you've never done it before, you don't have any experience, you haven't written anything, maybe you failed English a couple times probably, and that's about the extent of your writing history. Well, on Upwork, there's a lot of people who want to be copywriters. They're all listing themselves as that. So I want to make a quick distinction. There are copywriters, and then there are legit copywriters. So copywriters would be all the writers on Upwork who are bloggers, who are journalists, who are all these other kinds of writers, creative writers, ebook writers, who also tag themselves as copywriters on Upwork. And they don't usually make very much money as copywriters because they don't know what the hell they're doing. They don't know anything about influencer persuasion. They don't know anything about the real inner workings of copywriting. When you get into real copywriters, the people who can actually get results, you've got creative copywriters and then you've got direct response copywriters. Two very different things. Creative are going to be the people who are writing very creative stuff that's meant to move you emotionally, maybe over larger periods of time. Direct response copywriters are in there trying to get you to take some action right this instant. And that's their whole goal. Everything that they write is funneling you toward that action. Whatever kind of copywriter that you want to be, you need a starting point. So where are you going to start? If I was starting over and I didn't have any copywriting experience, what would I need? Because some of the things that I pulled from my background that allowed me to move so quickly with copywriting was, one, customer service. I had a lot of customer service experience in the past. I've had collections experience, so sales experience. If you have either of those, customer service or sales, that's going to help you a lot. I have a lot of influence and persuasion experience in my background. NLP, hypnotherapy, personality profiling. So these are things that I'm bringing over a period of 10 years or longer that are fueling into copywriting. They are very closely related. I also have spent a year publishing short stories and learning how to write stories. That's why my copywriting is usually more creative. But you may not have any of those things. Maybe you haven't written anything. Maybe you don't even know the first thing about influence and persuasion. You don't know that much about sales. So this is where I think that in order for you to actually be good at this, to actually get to a level where you're able to make higher rates or higher pay, you're going to have to learn a little from the start. If you're coming from nothing, you don't have any of this background, you've got to learn at least the fundamentals. And for that, I think you're going to need cashvertising. So go get the book Cashvertising off of Amazon. Just type in cashvertising, it'll pop right up. That book's going to give you a fundamental level of knowledge in regards to how people work, the psychology behind writing, different types of writing, and what's going to move people to action. I think with that'll form a base level foundation for you. Once you have that book, immediately go to Upwork and get yourself on their platform. Hopefully you'll choose a skill that's going to get you approved quickly. Now, are you just going to jump right into copywriting jobs? You could try that. My guess is you're probably not going to make very much money if you do that. So a better way, I think, is to go the social media route. For your first gigs on Upwork, if you want to become a copywriter, do either social media or do blog posts. I used to always tell people just blog posts, but I think social media is actually a really good place to start for a couple of reasons. One, there's a ton of work out there for social media people. And two, it forces you to learn to write in limited space, especially if you're doing social media like Twitter. You've only got so many characters to convey your message, your story, get people to take action. There's not very much room, so that helps you get in that short story frame of mind. Now, you don't have any writing experience, so the next thing from there, the next step up, in my opinion, is blog writing. What I like about blog writing is that it teaches you just to write in a casual, or it can teach you to write in different styles. So depending on the client's needs, you may be writing something very casual and friendly, conversational, or you may be writing something more formal, more structured, more corporate-y. Either of those are going to help you with copywriting later on. So you need to be learning cash advertising, but also you need to be taking action and actually doing some writing. I think that social media is the place to start. After that's going to be blog posts, because blog posts are going to teach you about the differences in headlines, hooks, how to get people to click buttons in your copywriting, in a conversational way. Also, the other thing I like about blog posts is that you can take the $1 or $2 blog posts and you can deliver huge value even if you're not an actual copywriter. You can get results for your clients. For instance, one of my students, he wrote some blog posts and we looked at the Facebook page where those were shared for that company. Well, they got that blog post got a whole bunch of shares. So not only shares, but like a bunch of likes, like hundreds of likes and a whole bunch of shares. So he could screenshot that, and then use that in his portfolio to say, hey, I wrote this blog, look at the results it got. It clearly has results. Now you can take that and start applying to copywriting gigs because you have actual results to show. And maybe it was only $1 to $2 blog post. It wasn't worth very much to you, but the doors it was opening are worth everything. So keep that in mind. So if you were starting out as a copywriter and you're trying to get going on Upwork, before you jump straight into copywriting, before you start trying to do sales pages or landing pages or charging higher rates for those things, consider the opportunity that's right in front of you by starting with something like social media or even blog posts. And you can make a lot of money with blog posts. I don't know if you guys know this, but I've written blog posts recently for around $100 for up to 500 words. I've written blog posts as high as $1,000 for around 1,000 words. So you can charge high rates just from blog posts, and maybe you don't even have to become a copywriter, so keep that in mind. But blogging is going to teach you a lot about writing and what people want, the different styles, and from there, it's not that far of a jump into product descriptions, email writing, web page copywriting. The only difference is that when you're ready to scale beyond blog writing, you'll probably need some more training. So breakthrough advertising, scientific advertising, any of those books. You could even go all the way with freaking boron letters and the Gary Halbert challenge. I don't recommend that. But maybe a Udemy course that just teaches you the elements of direct response, or another course somewhere that teaches you creative copywriting. Or if you stick around long enough, I'll launch my website and you guys can come and get all that training from me if you feel like it. That's what I think you need, though, if you want to be a copywriter who's actually making money. You need the fundamentals of writing, you need the fundamentals of influence and persuasion, and you need to be taking action. And those three things, you can kind of start to pull those all together with cash advertising, social media posting, and blog posting. And if you can do those things, get experience in those, build up a little bit of a portfolio, then you can move into emails. It's easy to move into emails from there. It's easy to move into product descriptions, other things that you're going to be able to easily bill high rates for and make a lot more money. That's all I've got for this one, guys. Subscribe down below if you want to see more. We've got some more discussions coming up. Sorry, I've got cords everywhere. We've got some discussions coming up, so let me know if you are trying to get into copywriting, if that's something, like what are you struggling with getting into copywriting? Which part of the process is hardest for you? Drop that in a comment down below and click that notification bell if you want my notifications. Yeah, thanks a lot. I will see you next time.